Make the decision yours, not theirs. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So make the decision yours, not theirs. This is referring to that relationship that you were a part of. You see, you're healing right now. And as you're healing, you're getting stronger. As you're getting stronger, more clarity is arriving in your life. Not only in your mind, but your purpose. You're beginning to understand what had happened to you, how it happened, how that relationship spun your world upside down, that the person you're considering knew exactly what they were doing, that they had done it before, and they're probably doing it right now. So now as post-relationship, as you're healing and you're elevating and ascending and evolving, you understand that there are certain things that you will have to do. Many of them possibly you've already done. Perhaps you've done all of them, every single one that you need to do. But there are certainly, for most of us, there are some things that we were holding on to. And it takes time for everybody to finally wrap their head around the fact that one of the best things you will ever do to get away from this person or these people is, in fact, yes, to go no contact, to block them, to delete them, remove them, and all fly monkeys and people associated with them. If not now, when? Now, you may have already done that. If you did that, I would still stay here with the video because I'm going to drop some good nuggets of wisdom that I've never shared with in videos before. If you haven't done it, you need to stay on this video. Your healing is exclusive to you, for you, and by you. Nobody is going to heal you. You're going to have to heal yourself. You will get people, which I call guardian angels or beautiful, bright, shining lights or empaths or people that will be in your life on the healing path that you will not even realize they were helping you when they were there. I'll give you a couple examples of that in a moment. But one main thing that you will have to do is you're going to have to realize that the person you're considering, yes, the toxic person, they never loved you. They never cared about you. They don't care about anybody. And what they wanted to do was to keep you stuck, to keep you trapped, to keep you frozen, if you would. So you would be pining for them. You would be thinking about them. You would leave doors of communication open to them, and you would be thinking that maybe they will pop up again, and maybe they have changed, or maybe they have found something that has reestablished in them that they did care about you and did love you and do want to go back into the relationship one more time. Well, those are breadcrumbs of hope. That's where the narcissist wants you. But those are not reality. What reality is you have to cut the ties. And I've shared this in so many videos over the years. You have to cut the emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie. As these ties are cut, you get stronger. As you get stronger, that toxic person gets weaker. As they get weaker, more clarity does arrive in your mind. And you will realize that you have to do it for yourself. Don't let them do it for you, which is this. You will need to take the upper hand, and perhaps you're not accustomed to doing that. When I say take the upper hand, I mean you're going to have to practice radical acceptance and realize that if you continue to hold out hope, thinking that that person will eventually change or they will figure out that they did love you or did care about you, despite the fact that they abused you, manipulated, and took advantage of everything from you that they possibly could, most likely discarded you or strung you along longer and longer, they're not going to change. They will never change. What they want is they want to use people up as fuel sources. They want to use people as supply. They want to keep people stuck and tethered to them. They don't want, I'm talking about the narcissist, they don't want people healing, putting themselves back together, going no contact. The narcissist wants to live in people's minds rent-free. I've said that so recently, specifically this year in videos, because it's completely true. And that will happen until when? Until it doesn't happen. And when it doesn't happen, this is when you finally take charge. And you probably or possibly go no contact and block the person. This video isn't exclusive to blocking. I'm just reinforcing with you that when you do it, yeah, it's going to sting for a while. You're going to be unaccustomed to the sensation, the feeling. But what you will be doing, and you should play this part of the video a few times, you will be breaking one of the ties. You will be exiting the old and the familiar and the known, and you will be entering what I call the unknown. The unknown is your journey, your path that does not include the toxic person. The unknown is when you take action, you don't allow that toxic person to be able to creep or slither or crawl their way back into your life or your atmosphere or your email box or your phone or the texts or anything about you. That's why you really must do this for yourself. You will not be doing it for anybody else other than for you. Think about this. How many people that you know right now know what you went through? Probably some people may know what you went through to their level of understanding, but they don't know what it's like to be inside of your mind, having to heal from a relationship that you were committed to, that you were resolved in fixing, that you were trying to fix and grow and to elevate and change that person, or put out the fires that they were started intentionally. The person you're considering, not the narcissist, but the people that perhaps believe that they know what you went through, they really don't. They can only understand to their level, unless, yes, they did go through the narcissistic abusive cycle, as did I. Then probably, not definitely, but probably they could finish your sentence like I can. Now, why I keep saying that in videos over the last few months is because when you heal, you will see the world the way it really is, not the way the toxic person wanted you seeing it, and not the way you were seeing it even before you met the toxic person, because there are three versions of you. The first version of you is the person you were before you met the narcissist. Probably a very carefree, abundant, beautiful person, just going through life, doing whatever you were doing, experiencing life. Second person is the person you became when you were trapped in that zombie-like, trance-like state, which is known as the narcissistic fog. That's when you were being peppered with abuse, you were being devalued, you were being disrespected, you weren't being treated properly, and you were in that washing machine of toxicity, but you didn't know that that existed because you were trying to fix an unfixable relationship. And the third version of you is the strongest, most galvanized version of you known to humankind. That's where I am. Now, is anyone ever going to get to be 100% healed from the toxicity of the abuse of the narcissistic abusive cycle? They won't. Will anyone get to 99.999%? Yeah, you're looking at somebody right now. You see, I had dark days. I experienced the dark night of the soul. I almost didn't make it January 6, 2021, almost 5 years ago. I also had to be isolated and trapped in my house for quite a long period of time, 2 years and 2 days to be exact, during a global pandemic. But I made it, and I'm out, and I'm here now at the cabin, and I hope you like the background because the cabin is a beautiful place. And I'm creating this video for you on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in the middle of winter to pay it forward to help you and let you know that if where you are is where you want to be, stay there. If where you are is not where you want to be, there's work to be done. But this work, again, is going to have to be done by you. Nobody's going to do the work for you. And there will be times on the healing path when you will feel like you're trapped. You will feel like you're stuck. You will feel like there's no way out. You'll feel like you're painted in a corner. What do I do now? I don't know. That is why, excuse me, that is why this is unique to you, and it's similar to my healing journey. We are all on the healing path, headed in the same direction, simply taking different footsteps. But this is why it's not one size fits all, because you may have multiple moving parts that I didn't have. You may have fewer moving parts than I had. Each and every one of us are different ages, different ethnicities, different, we have different backgrounds, different educational levels, different beliefs, but we all share one common denominator. And that common denominator, it's the narcissist. Not the same person, but yes, the same dark energy. The same dark energy source that continues to slither its way through life and through the ethos. Once you heal and heal properly, you will see what I see, which is that humanity, toxicity, vulnerability, naivete, belief, and a mindset are imperative that you understand these things. Meaning, not every single person has everybody's best interest at heart. And at the top of that list is the narcissist. See, they didn't want you to succeed. They didn't want you to elevate. They didn't want you to do anything other than stay stuck and be that unpaid helper. Be that walking apology, be the sounding board, be the regulator, and be the person who would fix all their problems. Be given an endless to-do list. You would accomplish that. Tomorrow morning you would wake up, the narcissist would be gone with 3 more endless to-do lists while they're out looking for your replacement. You would say, thank you, sir, thank you, ma'am, I have another. You would accomplish everything they wanted you to. They would be treating you worse. They would be around you less and less. You would be paying the mortgages, raising the kids, paying tuition, keeping a 9-to-5 job, not exercising. Your mind was melting. You were staying tethered to your phone because the narcissist at any one moment could rear their ugly head and text you or call you or hang up on you or throw a rage fit or blame you or change plans at the last minute. And you would stay on high alert. That's what you were doing. You were on high alert. So when this all goes away post-relationship, and this is not all exclusively for this video, I'm just going to touch on this because this would take about 25 hours for me to explain it in detail. And one day I will when I speak publicly all over the world. Having said that, when this all goes away and the discard happens, or you end it yourself, there's a void that must be filled. As you're filling the void with yourself, not with the narcissist, and you're cutting the ties from them, and you have wrapped your head around who they are, what they did, and why they did it, then you begin to realize that there are certain decisions that you will have to make that you weren't prepared for, certain decisions you will need to make to save your life. Other decisions will be what I call casualties of the relationship, meaning maybe you shared a phone plan with the narcissist. Well, you're gonna have to cut that. Maybe you shared children with them. You're gonna have to figure out how to co-parent. Maybe you have multiple houses. You're gonna have to figure out how to unwind those. Maybe the narcissist hid or took things from you or broke family heirlooms or stole things from you, and probably they did all those. Well, you're gonna have to come to terms that how to get those back or what to do. I'm not gonna share that information in a video. What I'm saying is this, is that all of us are on the healing path. We're all heading the same direction, simply taking different footsteps. And what you will have to do is certain things for yourself. Don't wait for the narcissist to do certain things. So I'll give you an example. Earlier I shared with you blocking. Why I mention blocking so frequently on the videos is because it works, and it will really help you get your clarity back and your mindset back. If you are waiting for the narcissist to block you, that is not the move, that's not the path, because if you're waiting for them to do something, you are still not being proactive. You are not taking action. You're waiting for them to take the lead and to do something. This is how you were when you're in a whole relationship. When you flip it and you get strong enough and you hit the B button, the block button, well then the narcissist may know you blocked them, they may not know immediately. Truth is, they will know eventually. But whenever they find out, that's their problem, not yours. You need to figure out that blocking them is to protect yourself. It's to insulate yourself. It's to put up a boundary. It's to tell the narcissist by your action that you have wised up. You have seen behind the mask. You don't want anything to do with them. And the blocking will be maintained. That is called a necessary step to breaking free from the narcissist. Now again, if you flip it, if you wait for them to do that, number one, they may never do it. Number two, if they did block you and you didn't block them, well, they could still unblock you whenever they want to and contact you. You don't want that. Number three, it's hard enough to understand why the narcissist, even though I understand it clearly, but for people that don't really understand narcissism yet, it's hard for many people to understand why the narcissist continues to try to hoover them, or continues to try to call them, or ask people about them, or send bogus emails, or use burner phones, or drop cryptic messages on their social media. Why they do these things? They do these things because, as I shared with you earlier, they want to live in your mind rent-free. They want to disrupt your energy. They want to test you and test you and test you. And you will be tested over and over and over again, just like you've been throughout your whole life. But you will be tested by the dark energy force or source until you've passed the tests. You can see the signs. The clarity has arrived in your mind, and you are doing things for you, by you, and to benefit you. And you're not waiting for somebody else to do something. When you finally take charge of breaking free from this person, it will sting, like I shared with you earlier, but it will benefit you. You will be in the unknown. And you may say, what is the unknown? I don't really get that. Well, the unknown is not being in the familiar. Here's an example. Before you were with this person, the familiar to you was perhaps going to work, driving the car, parking in the same parking space, drinking coffee out of the same coffee mug, and going to vacations, or going to vacations to the same spot every week, every 2 weeks, the same calendar month of the year. That's the familiar, that's the known. Possibly also you watch sporting events, so your favorite soccer team or football team or baseball team. Okay, well, you got comfortable on the couch, you grabbed your popcorn and you grabbed your diet soda or whatever it was, and you just did, that's what you did. I'm not saying this is your life, this is an example. But that's the known. Okay, well, you just got comfortable, and that's what most people do. They just relax and just enjoy what they want to do. Well, when you were in the relationship with this person, you couldn't do those things. You had to do what they wanted you to do, when they wanted you to do it, and how they wanted you to do it. So this is why and how you became the pawn, the puppet, the indentured servant, the unpaid helper, and you were the person who was doing whatever they wanted you to do, because if you did it, you would be given more to do, and you would be feeling, wow, I really did a good job there, I want to do more. If you didn't, you'd be punished. But anyway you cut it, you were in a lose-lose situation when you were in the relationship with that person. Now fast forward, relationship's over, you're healing, or if you've healed, you already know what I'm going to say, but if you're healing, you no longer can sit on the couch watching the sporting events and eating popcorn. Those days are long over. Number two is you're no longer in that relationship with the person. So those days of being peppered are long over because you're not with them. This is now the unknown. You see, you had two things that were familiar. Who you were before you met the person, that was when you were on the couch watching football or baseball or soccer or whatever, what TV shows or whatever it was, sitcoms. Then the second version, remember, this is all tying together. So play this video, play it a few times. The second version is when you were not doing what you wanted, but you were doing something that the other person, the toxic person, wanted you to do because you had an invisible leash around you. That is not being graphic or cryptic, but that's exactly how it was. Well, the third version of you no longer has either of those two experiences to go through in present day, because you're not going to want to do what you did way before you met that person, and you can't do what you were doing when you were with them, because now you see who they really are, and now you see what they did, and now you're learning all the definitions in the glossary on the cycle. As you're learning, you're healing. As you're healing, you're elevating. As you're elevating, you will be entering the unknown. The unknown is the place where it is not familiar. You are not certain what's going to come next. That's why the healing path is not linear. Yeah, I keep saying this, and I've said it for years. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. But in your time, you will heal if you utilize the tools that are provided for you. And the tools are meant to benefit you. Because at one point, I was what is known as the new supply. So were you. Well, I put myself back together. I taught myself how to do this. And now I teach the community. I teach the planet, the world, anybody who's craving the wisdom on how to get where I got. It's not an easy feat. It's not an easy task. There is not one book that you can buy on Amazon or at a bookstore that will tell you exactly every step to make. It doesn't work that way. That's why you need to understand that we are all separate people. We've all experienced the same toxicity, but to get out of it, you may have more or less moving parts than somebody else. Again, think about your age. Maybe you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, or upwards. Well, you have to think about that. What do you want to do with your time? Now, having said all these things, when you're in the unknown, this is where the abundance takes place. This is where the growth happens. This is where you realize who you really are. This is where you are now entering the third version of you. This is when you can take a class, teach a class, read a book, write a book, travel the world, sleep until 12. You can do hot yoga or Pilates. You can ride a bike all the way around the world. You can create a business. You can go back to school. You can do whatever you want to do, specifically once you've healed. But to get to that mountaintop, that pinnacle of indifference, and to get to the third version of you, you will have had to gone through the cycle, because you can't fake it, and you will have had to experience a lot of things that you never thought you would experience, tolerate things you never thought you would tolerate, and learn about humanity, about narcissism, about empathy, about mindset, about abundance, and about, yes, the third version of you. Now, I keep saying the third version of you because I'm living it. And there are tens of thousands of people, probably more by now, that I've helped get to the mountaintop, the pinnacle of indifference. Most of those people I will never even meet. But they stayed with the channel. They stayed in the community. They continue to come back and get their cup full. They continue to pay it forward when they healed. There are people I continue to hear from 4 years later, just dropping me an email or having a session saying, hey, I just want to let you know, thank you very much for what you did. What you did is amazing. I really didn't understand what you were talking about back in 2021 or 2022, but I get it now. I'm living it, and my life is totally changed. I no longer care about the narcissist. I'm indifferent. I'm at that mountaintop, and now I've fallen in love again, or I've traveled, or I built that house I always wanted to, or I started the business I wanted to, or I reconnected with some people that perhaps the relationship was fractured at the hands of another toxic person, or I've rebuilt relationships. I've relocated. I found myself again. I've changed my diet. There are so many people who have reached the mountaintop. I am one of them. If you were to tell me this 5 years ago, that there was such a place as the mountaintop of indifference, I would not have believed it, because number one, I hadn't come up with the term yet. Number two, I was broken. Number three, I was just beginning to understand what had happened. Fast forward to today. I know exactly what happened. I have all the answers to the questions that I will ever have about toxicity. That's why I pay it forward each and every day with creating videos. And that's why I took action, which is the action you must do. You must do it for yourself and not let another person do it for you, which means the blocking and the healing and letting that breadcrumb go. Because when you finally, and I do mean that word, I'll say it again, when you finally understand that nothing changes until you do, when you finally wrap your head around that, then you will look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? Andrew's right. Nothing does change until I do. I could sit here and I could think that that person loved me. I could think that that person cared about me. I could think that they're going to reach out and pop up and they're going to have change. But what am I doing? I'll tell you exactly what you're doing. You're spinning your wheels and you're still stuck in a part of that loop. I am not saying you're still connected physically or romantically or in the space, the perimeter of the narcissist. I'm saying you're still giving them energy mentally. And that's what we all do until when? Until we don't. And when we don't, that's when we cut those 4 ties that I shared with you earlier. And that's when you realize that, no, Andrew is right. Nothing will change until I do. Another thing, which I want to share with you, and I've shared this a couple years ago, I'll share it again. I'm a huge believer and a practitioner of Stoicism. I have practiced Stoicism since I was a little kid all the way up until this very minute without even knowing what it was. Post-relationship, I researched it an awful lot. And I found out about myself that I was doing things that were created thousands of years ago, which is the term Stoicism. Now I've mastered that and I know exactly how to behave and what to do and what not to do. And why I'm sharing the Stoicism part of this video, and I will get ready to close it, is because one of the main ideas of Stoicism is this: control what you can control. Play that part of the video and play it a few times. Control what you can control. See, you can't control if it's going to rain or snow or the sun's going to shine today wherever you're living. You can't control if there's traffic on the freeway. You can't control if your Apple phone or your or Galaxy or whatever phone is decides to not function right now. What you can control is to take a look at the weather and dress appropriately. What you can control is to make sure your cell phone's charged up. What you can control is to take a look at the traffic and wherever you're living and try to beat the rush hour traffic or whatever you're doing. See, that's why you need to focus on yourself. You see where this video is going? It's all tying back to one person. That person is you. It's not the narcissist. So before I close this, understand something. Change comes from within. Control what you can control. You are in the cycle, you're out now. You need to heal. You need to slow your life down. You need to have a small footprint and understand that what happened to you, you will have to unwind it, unpack it, and you'll have to heal from it. This is the relationship you'll need to heal from. And the last thing, and above all, you will have to understand that you'll have to do things for yourself that no one else will have the ability to do. Don't wait for someone else to do something for you. That day may never arrive. As I've shared in videos over the years, nobody, and I mean nobody, knocked on my door post-discard, not one person. I can almost assure you no one's knocked on your door. And if there was somebody and they're a good, healthy person, you're fortunate. You need to really, really count your lucky stars that someone actually checked in on you. But that didn't happen with me, and that's fine. I'm over it. I'm good. I'm in a great spot. But that's one of the reasons I healed, and healed the way I healed, because no one was there for me. I had to do it all by myself during a global pandemic. Enough about me. What I'm sharing with you is when you wrap your head around the fact, if you're still holding on to something, a little breadcrumb of hope that this person's going to return, or this person's going to come back, or they do care, or that they left something in your house and you're holding on to it because you know that one day they're going to ask you for it, there's nothing good there. There's not one good thing there, because you're still tethered to them energetically. You're still thinking about whatever that item is. It could be an old smelly sock from 30 years ago. It could be a $10,000 diamond sitting in your drawer right now. I don't know what it is. What I'm sharing is any energy from the narcissist is not good energy. There's not one good thing about these people. They're low vibrational and they know it, and they did their best to destroy your life, but they couldn't, they can't, and they never will have that opportunity again, because now you have boundaries and now you're taking control of your life. So before I close the video, understand you will have to do things that you're not accustomed to. You will be entering the unknown, as have I, and you will realize that the unknown is where the growth takes place. It's where the abundance takes place. It's where doors of opportunity are presented to you and doors of possibility are laid right at your feet. But none of that, and I mean none of that, will happen if you're still tethered to a narcissist. It doesn't work that way. You will have to cut the ties, and you'll have to really understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I want to share this before I close the video. Yes, I'm up at the cabin. This place is absolutely amazing. It's gorgeous. I hope to create more videos up here. It's a longer journey to get up here, but I love it being up here because it's more quiet. Every place I go, or most places I go, are peaceful, meaning sometimes there's disruption from airplanes, etc. But this place is just magic. I love it, and I hope you're enjoying it. And the second thing is really understand If you're still thinking or holding out hope that something's going to change with the person you're considering, it's not going to change. They've already showed you who they are. They've already done the damage. You need to hit that B button, the block button, get off the radar of them and begin focusing on yourself, because if you leave any avenues of communication open with them, they could easily slither their way back into your life, kick that door wide open again, and go back for another round of abuse. And this time it will be worse than the last time, because all these relationships get worse and worse and worse. They deteriorate. They never, and I mean never, improve. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Play this video, play it a few times. I spoke rather slowly on purpose and deliberately because I want to make sure this message gets out. It's extremely important. You will have to do things you're unaccustomed to. You'll have to enter the unknown, as have I. The unknown may sound scary. It's not. It's one of the best journeys of your life, one of the best parts of the journey of your life. Because when you're in the familiar and you're in the known, usually people stay stagnant. I was guilty too, meaning you're not growing, you're just doing the same old things, and you get accustomed to a routine, and that's not what you want. What you want to do, cut the ties from the narcissist, get out of the known, heal properly, break the trauma bond, separate yourself every way possible from that toxic person, and as you're healing, realize that your life is about to take the best turn it's ever taken, and what that is as far away from the toxic person as you can possibly get, and that's what you will find out. Because you are about to enter the third version of yourself. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.